A very good evening and welcome to this Thursday's edition of Primetime News on TV1. Bringing you the news for the Newsfirst team, I'm Thiruni Karunaratna.
And I'm Rithmini De Silva. Let's start off with a look at the headlines.
The conspiracy to oust me from the presidency. Gotabaya releases tell-all book. Ex-president says decision to alienate Colombo on 9th of July was not put into action. SLPP's Rohita Abbegunawardena takes helm as COPE chair. Chanakyan alleges threats from Rohita and violation of privileges. Sri Lankan aboard ship attacked by Houthis suffers burn injuries. Another Sri Lankan unharmed. Kanchana reveals that no energy investment in Trincomalee for 10 years without IOC consent. 145th Battle of the Blues played in Colombo.
In today's top story, former Sri Lanka President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has disclosed in his book that influential foreign entities, in conjunction with certain local groups, orchestrated extensive protests and acts of sabotage aimed at ousting him from the presidency. He claimed that these efforts were further bolstered by substantial financial backing. The book by Rajapaksa, The Conspiracy to Oust Me from the Presidency, is now available in Sri Lanka.
In the book, Gotabaya Rajapaksa acknowledges that he was well aware of the unwavering determination of dominant foreign forces and certain local factions to persist in their actions as long as he was in power. Gotabaya Rajapaksa candidly reveals that he chose to step down from his position to put an end to the web of political conspiracies and acts of sabotage that were systematically undermining the well-being of the people. Furthermore, former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa discloses that a significant foreign power strongly urged him not to resign. Rajapaksa in his book said that this foreign entity had demonstrated through concrete actions its commitment to ensuring the supply of essential materials to Sri Lanka. Gotabaya Rajapaksa noted that despite these events, he decided to step down in order to provide relief to the people. Gotabaya Rajapaksa revealed that certain influential nations presented themselves as champions of democracy and the rule of law on the global stage. Meanwhile, in many developing countries, a network of paid activists purports to advocate for these principles. However, their true agenda often aligns more with advancing their own interests rather than safeguarding genuine democratic values. Former President Rajapaksa unveiled several critical details in his book concerning the events that unfolded during his removal from office. Among these incidents, the protest held on the 31st of March 2021, right outside his residence in Mirihana, stands out as a significant case. According to the book, a significant number of individuals participated in the procession that reached Pangirivatta Road around 8 p.m. Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that notably during this time, then Army Commander Shavendra Silva, Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratne and all the armed forces commanders were attending a wedding ceremony at the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo. Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that he promptly informed both Shavendra and Kamal about the unfolding situation. Thereafter, Director of State Intelligence Service Suresh Sali, who was also present at the wedding ceremony, visited the Mirihana area. Upon his arrival, approximately 100 protesters were present, detailed Rajapaksa, noting that despite the presence of the Police Special Task Force and army officers, no explicit instructions were issued regarding how to handle the crowd. He said that Suresh Sali resorted to a video call with Shavendra Silva and Kamal Gunaratne, showing them the gathering. Regrettably, no directives to disperse the crowd were relayed from the senior ranks. According to the former president, at approximately 10:30 a.m. on the following day, the Army Commander, Chief of Defence Staff and Defence Secretary visited his residence. He said that on 8th of July 2022, he instructed Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratne to shift the operations room from the Defence Force headquarters to the President's house. Gotabaya Rajapaksa said he took the precaution of getting all the defence chiefs to the President's house because of the bad experience had at Temple Trees on the night of 9th May 2022, where there was an inordinate and unforgivable delay in the induction of troops to evacuate the Prime Minister. He revealed that on the morning of 9th of July 2022, the Defence Secretary, commanders of the Army, Navy and the Air Force, the IGP and the Director of SIS were all present in the operations room that had been established at the President's house. The plan was to prevent the protesters from arriving in Colombo by blocking all the approach roads, but no such roadblocks had been established, and the crowds converged on the President's house virtually unopposed. The former President also pointed out, ironically, while the protest was supposed to be over shortage of essential items, shipments of many of these items were due to reach Colombo either on the 9th of July 2022 itself or in the days following. Gotabaya Rajapaksa noted that while some assert that he abandoned a sinking ship alone, it is essential to clarify that Sri Lanka was not in a state of decline when he resigned. Regrettably, he says that he encountered a meticulously orchestrated foreign and domestic conspiracy aimed at removing him from power in March and April 2022, a critical juncture when the nation was gradually recovering from the pandemic. In light of this situation, Rajapaksa had deemed it futile to sacrifice even a single life merely to prolong his tenure by 2 additional years.
SLPP member State Minister Indika Anuruddha says that facts will be revealed about more people who were involved in removing Gotabaya Rajapaksa from presidency.
Some sheeps covered in wolf skin, such as the ones who are trying to get into politics, the ones who are trying to become presidential candidates in the upcoming election. Some of the media personnel who worked as chief advisors will be revealed in it. They are trying to become presidential candidates. Even his secretary left the position to join politics. So can these secretaries who are incapable of protecting the president protect the general public? Therefore, I believe that everything should be included in this book.
Views were expressed regarding the former president's book at a press conference convened by the Samagi Janabala Wegia.
All of us participated in the Arakale not because of any other reason, but because we could not live under such a government, not because of any political reasons. We did not have electricity, our children were crying. We did not have food to eat, there was neither petrol nor diesel. We could not afford daily meals, and daily workers even lost their jobs. That is not a talent. We reiterated that it is impossible to rule this country without basic experience in administration. If we look into his governance back then, it is visible that it was a governance without any regard or understanding. It would have been better if he had never spoken again. This will only create another big protest by further antagonizing the public.
Chief incumbent of Mihintale Rajamahaviharaya, Venerable Dr. Valawa Hangunawave Dhammaratana Thero, expressed these views in a press conference convened today.
You should have written about how the country was destroyed and who bankrupted the country instead of these conspiracies. You can write books on the cover of the book or on the inside of the book. Tell the citizens of this country and even to the international community that it was you who destroyed the country and dragged it to the crisis situation it is in right now.
These are the views expressed by former Minister Mervyn Silva.
I accept there were conspiracies, but it makes me sad that he did not realize the conspiracies against him. It was because of this conspiracy that he had to leave. It is too late now. Now, all he has to do is clean up the mess created by the elephants. He let the elephants make a mess of the place, and now the elephants have left. All he has to do now is clean up the mess and nothing more.
Vasantha Mudalige of the People's Struggle Movement expressed these views regarding the book of the former president.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa is saying that he was ousted through a conspiracy. He says that it was an international conspiracy. It was done by foreign nations. What were the issues that were prevalent in the country during the reign of Gotabaya Rajapaksa? The people of this country were standing in queues to purchase fuel, gas, and they had no way to eat. Schools were closed down, state institutions were closed down. We would like to ask the former president to write a book under the title Agricultural Revolution and speak about his decision to ban chemical chemical fertilizer overnight. Write a book regarding the sugar scam where he reduced taxes and gave those concessions to his friends. Write a book about how billions of rupees were allocated for the Gama Samagapili Sandarak program. Write a book about thieving families and friends. Gotabaya cannot use a word like conspiracy and degrade and ridicule the uprising of the people that took place in our country.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Member of Parliament Rohitha Abegunawardena assumed the position of chairman for the Parliamentary Committee on Public Enterprises or COPE. He was elected as COPE chair by majority vote. This afternoon, the names of two parliament members, Rohitha Abegunawardena and Gamini Valeboda, were put forward for the chairmanship of the Committee on Public Enterprises or COPE. Rohitha Abegunawardena was nominated by Member of Parliament Mahindananda Alutgamage and confirmed by Member of Parliament Sanjeeva Edirimanna. Gamini Valeboda was proposed by Member of Parliament Hesha Vithanage and confirmed by Dilan Pereira. In the voting process, Rohitha Abegunawardena secured the position of chairman with a majority of votes. Prior to this, Professor Ranjit Bandara held the chairmanship of the COPE before the propagation of the House.
TNA Member of Parliament Shanakyan Rajaputran Rasamanikam formally lodged a complaint with the Speaker, alleging that SLPP MP Rohitha Abegunawardena had threatened him and attempted to physically harm him within the parliamentary complex. In response to these serious allegations, Rohitha Abegunawardena also issued a statement.
Recently, during an adjournment motion debate about motorcycles, an MP in the House, whom everyone refers to as a chain snatcher, a henchman of Basil Rajapaksa, called me a lone terrorist and a member of the LTTE. He said he would strip me. All they know is to snatch clothes and chains. The country became bankrupt because such people were elected to parliament. These people also went to welcome the so-called man with 7 brains as well.
ඒ බංකොලොත්භාවය කරපු මොළහතේ පුද්ගලයාව වෙල්කම් කරන්න මේගොල්ලන් යනවා සිංහව නැති වෙලාවට නරි බුරනවා වගේ නරි හූ කියනවා වගේ.
In the absence of lions, the fox howls. Tell this outside parliament where there are no privileges. Tell it to the media. I have responded to the chain snatching claims within this house. This is a place to discuss the people's issues. I have represented this house for 25 years. As seniors, we have a duty to educate the new members on their conduct in the house. I request that the erroneous statements be taken off the Hansard.
A few minutes ago, the Honourable Member Rohitha Abegunawardena threatened to assault me, and he threatened me in the Prime Minister's office of this country. In the Prime Minister's office of this country, this member threatened me and he was about to physically assault me, and he was stopped by State Minister Ashoka Priyantha, and a witness to this matter is Jagat Priyankara, who is also a member of Parliament, who was also in the chamber. So based on the Parliament Privileges Act, my privileges have been violated and I have been threatened. My life is under threat because he said to walk out and try and walk out and come and see me near the lift. So he has threatened me, and the reason for that, the reason that he gave for the threat, he said that he will assault me near the lift, and the reason he gave was that I walked into the Prime Minister's office of this country, and he said, how dare you walk into our Prime Minister's office?
This matter will be directed to the Speaker for action. At the office of the Prime Minister, I asked him why he was there. I told him I'll see him at the lift. Why is he afraid? Someone ought to take him out safely. I only wanted to escort him. The Speaker and the parliamentary staff must ensure the safety of the MPs within this house. This is a serious allegation. Only words were exchanged and nothing more. Trust MP Rasamanikam. I do not believe he would lie.
Opposition leader, when those in your party harassed me, you did nothing.
Rohitha Abegunawardena, who tried to assault MP Rasamanikam at the Prime Minister's office, is the new COPE chairman. I am now reconsidering if I should return to COPE, because what if he assaults me at COPE, just like he assaulted Rasamanikam? Ranil Wickremesinghe has changed after becoming the president. During his tenure as the Prime Minister, he made Sunil Handunnetti the chairman. However, he saw the behaviour of the chairman who Ranil appointed after he became the president. Look at the behaviour of Ranjit Bandara, who was the former chairman. A serious problem arises among the youth of the country, intellectuals and entrepreneurs of the country on whether to live in this country in the future when they see these problems.
The People's Struggle Movement responded to the statement made by the President regarding the economy of the country.
Ranil Wickremesinghe must be seeing our country as a paradise now. For a person who cannot even win a seat in parliament, becoming president of the country might make him see Sri Lanka like a paradise. We know that Ranil Wickremesinghe can continue to enjoy his presidency for a few more months. He is trying to select a strategic course of action where he can create a surrounding so that he can remain in the front row of power. He is trying to use the return of Basil Rajapaksa and get the support of the SLPP MPs and go for a general election. This is how he sees his road to paradise. Ranil Wickremesinghe cannot create a paradise for the people of this country. The Ranil Rajapaksas are spreading suppression on the one hand and on the other hand intimidating the people. This is their road to paradise. What they are doing under the guise of revitalizing the economy is placing all the burden on the people and cementing their power. The Ranil Rajapaksas have failed to provide a solution to this crisis. They are making ridiculous statements now, and these are the traits of a leader who does not have the mandate of the people.
National Movement of the Health Professionals and several civil organizations convened a media briefing in Colombo. It was revealed that numerous individuals who suffered disability or lost their lives due to substandard medications over the past year have yet to receive the justice they deserve.
A group of people who suffered side effects due to substandard medicines and relatives of people who died as a result also attended this press conference.
My son is Lenin Niroshan. On the 17th of March 2023, he was prescribed with a medicine called Petroti. It was recommended to him before as well. Therefore, we bought them from the pharmacy since the Ministry of Health did not have the medicine at that time. On the 17th of March 2023, I was given this medicine called Petroti. 2 bottles were given to me. They kept the other bottle that was finished. After taking this medicine, my son lost his vision on both his eyes. There's nothing to do in Sri Lanka. They are asking us to take him abroad, but there is no way for us to take him to another country. I am helpless. I am asking all of you to help to save my child's eyes.
On the
17th of April 2023, I came to the National Eye Hospital to implant a lens for an eye disorder. There, the doctor said that he will wait another week and put these 2 types of medicine and asked me to come back in a week. I took those 2 types of medicine and put them for 3 days. And when I put them on my eyes, it became red and swollen. The doctor said that one of the medicines was dangerous. Later, the doctor checked my medicines and threw them into the trash. He said that he will quickly admit me to the ward. I was admitted to ward number 15. Then I was hospitalized for 38 consecutive days. I underwent 2 operations. Please sympathize us and arrange a way for us to live. If those people have lost their eyesight due to the drugs imported without checking the quality, if the mothers and fathers of these sons and daughters have lost their lives due to surgeries, who will be responsible for them? We believe these to be criminal homicides. Now we are making a request to the current Health Minister and Health Secretary. We cannot repeat these things to the media. If the reports regarding these patients are called as soon as possible, justice should be done to those people within a few weeks after the reports are called.
News First with the people.
Thousands of singers battling for one crown.
Shakti Crown.
Welcome back to the news. Now, according to the Sri Lankan Navy, a Sri Lankan crew member aboard the cargo ship that came under attack by Houthi rebels has sustained burn injuries. Navy spokesperson Captain Gayan Wickramasuriya confirmed that the entire ship's crew, which includes 2 Sri Lankans rescued by the Indian Navy, has been safely transported to Djibouti for further assistance.
Red Sea crisis.
The True Confidence merchant ship, which was sailing from China to Jeddah, was attacked by a Houthi missile strike around 11:30 a.m. Yemen time yesterday. The attack also caused a fire in the bridge of the Liberian-owned Barbados-flagged ship True Confidence. The attack on True Confidence occurred when the bulk carrier was in the Gulf of Aden, about 50 nautical miles southwest of the city of Aden, according to its owners. The U.S. military Central Command reported 3 fatalities, at least 4 injuries, of which 3 are in critical condition, as well as significant damage to the ship. Foreign media reported there were 23 crew on board the ship, and 4 of them suffered serious burns. The vessel was manned by a crew of 20, comprising 1 Indian, 4 Vietnamese and 15 Filipino nationals. 3 armed guards, 2 from Sri Lanka and 1 from Nepal, were also on board. The Indian Navy's INS Kolkata, a destroyer deployed in the region as part of a US-led naval task force, arrived at the scene and rescued crew members using a helicopter and boats. The rescued crew were taken to Djibouti.
While we were going, we sent a helicopter. The helicopter found the crew in the life raft. Then we used the helicopter and we pull up 8 people, and then we send our boat, because some people are very injured, so they cannot come by helicopter. So we sent 2 boats, and we put them in the boat and brought them to the ship. Now we have come here. We are very happy that the Djibouti government has very quickly given us berth, and 9 ambulances have come, and so many doctors. I think it is a very good. It shows that how much Djibouti cares for people who are at sea.
Foreign media reported that the Houthi rebels had issued advance warnings to the True Confidence ship to leave the area. The Houthi rebels have said that they attacked the vessel because it disregarded the warnings and continued to sail ahead.
Red Sea crisis.
Today, a group of fisher folk in Tamil Nadu protested against a group of Indian fishers using the bottom trawling fishing method. Sri Lankan fisher folk have repeatedly emphasized that Indian fisher folk destroy marine resources in the Sea of Sri Lanka by using the prohibited bottom trawling method.
Fisher folk of Nagapattinam in Tamil Nadu refrained from going to sea today. They said that they were facing many difficulties due to fisher folk of their own country using the bottom trawling fishing method. Fisher folk from Vedaranyam, Taluka, Kodiyakkare, Pushpavanam and several other areas of the Nagapattinam district in Tamil Nadu have been refraining from going to sea for the past few days. Meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu Fishermen's Association staged a protest in Rameshwaram today against the arrest of Indian fishermen in the Sea of Sri Lanka.
Their fishing techniques pose a huge threat to our country's ocean. The government must immediately take a decision in this regard. They keep breaching our waters.
Meanwhile, joining the face-to-face program on Newsfirst, Commander of the Sri Lankan Navy, Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira, expressed his opinion with regard to the process of arresting fisher folk breaching the limits of the Sea of Sri Lanka.
This is a prevention that must be carried out with a very humanistic approach. It is indeed an illegal activity. Besides arresting them through a proper legal procedure or chasing them away using our own vessels, we cannot exercise any inappropriate measures.
Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara revealed that an agreement had been signed preventing energy investments in Trincomalee for 10 years without the consent of the IOC. The minister revealed this at a media conference called at the Presidential Media Centre.
When Udaya Gammanpilla was the Minister of Power and Energy, an agreement was signed on oil tanks. According to that agreement, no energy investments can be made in Trincomalee for 10 years without the consent of IOC.
Convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Madhushan Chandrajit and Buddhika Nimala Prabhash, who were arrested during an IUSF protest in Colombo yesterday, were released on bail today. Colombo Additional Magistrate Bandari Lanka ordered their release on 2 sureties of 500,000 rupees each.
Convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Madhushan Chandrajit, and Buddhika Nimala Prabhash, who is a student of the University of Sabaragamuwa, were arrested by the police yesterday on the basis of being participants of an illegal gathering, disrupting the peace and engaging in confrontations with police officers. When the case was called up in court today, the magistrate questioned the police as to what illegal actions were committed by the students. When police said that the students had not engaged in any such activities, the magistrate ordered their release on bail. Meanwhile, convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Madhushan Chandrajit, and Buddhika Nimala Prabhash were produced before the Colombo Judicial Medical Officer.
The Media Organizations Collective issued a statement strongly condemning the police arrest of journalists Bimal Ruhnage and GP Nisanka.
The Media Organizations Collective points out that journalists are being arrested in the country against a backdrop where new legislation such as the Online Safety Bill and the Anti-Terrorism Bill are being passed and free thinking is disrupted. The Media Organizations Collective says it has been observed that there exists a brazen effort to suppress individuals through intimidation. However, Media Organizations Collective says it is resolute in its commitment to counter such actions. The statement says that journalist Bimal Ruhnage, now remanded until the 11th of March, was arrested while reporting an incident near the Kurunagala bus station on the grounds of disrupting police duties. The statement adds that journalist GP Nisanka had been arrested for allegedly posting content that threatens national security and was remanded until the 20th of March. 8 organizations, including the Free Media Movement and the Sri Lanka Working Journalists Association, released this joint statement.
An IMF mission called on Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Finance Ministry in Colombo.
During the meeting between President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the IMF team at the Finance Ministry today, Peter Brewer, the senior mission chief for Sri Lanka, said the IMF program is showing signs of working and is translating into real outcomes. The President's media division said that according to Peter Brewer, this is thanks to the authorities' commitment to the program and implementation. He had noted that it is heartening to see the economy starting to turn around. Sri Lanka's former central bank governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy believes Sri Lanka's economy has improved from where it was.
To a significant extent, things have improved. Growth has gone from negative to positive. Inflation has come down. It's within the target range. Reserves, which were down to 25, usable reserves, which were down to 25 million. Now the gross reserves have gone up to 4.5 and usable reserves to 3 billion. So it has gone from 25 million to 3 billion between April 1922 and today. Then inflation is down, interest rates have come down, the exchange rate is stable. So if you look at all those indicators, things have improved significantly. But what we need to do now is to address the issue of so many people falling into poverty and so many people having their incomes, their affordability seriously affected. So we now need to get growth going so that and incomes going, employment going. That's the next phase of what has to be done. The government has some plans. I hope they implement it effectively.
The former governor also commented on the IMF review.
The review was conducted satisfactorily, and in fact the IMF upgraded the macroeconomic framework in terms of growth, inflation, etc. The targets were actually set assuming that the performance of the economy has improved. So that's a very positive thing. But now we have to go through the next review, which will start, I think, next week.
The Inland Revenue Department has set up a new unit targeting highly wealthy individuals in the country.
The Inland Revenue Department says that it will be paying closer attention to the tax compliance of highly wealthy individuals in the country as part of the IRD's efforts to restore fairness and confidence in Sri Lanka's tax administration by ensuring that the wealthy contribute their fair share and pay the right amount of taxes. For this purpose, a high wealth individuals unit has been established at the IRD, which is located in the large taxpayer office. As a first measure, the unit will be contacting a select number of wealthy individuals and will work with them and their advisors to ensure that they are up to date with their filings of tax returns. The Inland Revenue Department will also help them identify and avoid mistakes or omissions early in the filing process. The unit will be conducting additional risk assessments and profiling of wealthy taxpayers to conduct audits on cases that have the highest risks. The IRD will also be working closely with banks, the Financial Intelligence Unit and other tax administrations through its extensive treaty network with 45 countries.
The weekly silent protest at the Liberty Circle took place today as well.
Civil activists gathered at the Liberty Circle in Colombo to express their dismay over the lack of attention to pressing issues in the country.
Tomorrow we are celebrating the International Women's Day, and we are going to celebrate it here because we got beaten up here, and we are going to celebrate it here. But unfortunately the country is going down just as the situation for the women have gone down, and it's a sad situation, but nevertheless we are not giving up.
Activists held placards to express their dismay to the current state of affairs.
The swearing-in of 20 Peace Corps volunteers from the United States took place in Colombo. This marks the 25th group of Peace Corps volunteers to serve in Sri Lanka since 1998.
In a ceremony held in Colombo on the 6th of March, Peace Corps Director Carol Spahn, US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung, First Lady Professor Maitri Wickramasinghe and Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajayantha officiated the swearing-in of 20 Peace Corps volunteers from the United States. The cohort of skilled, diverse trainees arrived in November 2023 to begin 12 weeks of training. Following 3 months of intensive training in language, culture and effective engagement within Sri Lankan schools, these volunteers will now embark on a 2-year service journey as English teachers in the Central and Uva provinces.
Sri Lanka is America's friend and partner, and this is a relationship we truly cherish. Today, we benefit from the legacy of generations of Sri Lankans and Americans who have built and nurtured this profound friendship. Together, we have strengthened trade and commerce, collaborated to promote peace and security, all of those things that are important. But perhaps the most important, the most lasting impact comes through these deep personal bonds created between just ordinary Americans and Sri Lankans. You are literally the embodiment of these people-to-people ties.
Minister of Education Susil Premajayantha spoke about the importance of English language education and partnership.
English language, the link language. So therefore, we had to improve the knowledge in English, especially the communication. Here in Sri Lanka, you find after GC O level or after GC A levels, students can understand each other and they can write, they can read. But the issue is communication. Because here in Sri Lanka, after 1962, the English language was introduced as a subject from grade 3.
Professor Maitri Wickramasinghe commended the volunteerism inherent in Peace Corps.
Learning new languages, Sinhala and Tamil, acquainting yourself with peoples and cultures, local politics and values and day-to-day practices that may well combine the familiar with the alien. Yet I have no doubt that it will be a stimulating and gratifying experience not only for you, but for the students that you will come across and the teachers and principals with whom you will be working and the families who will be hosting. Past experiences with the Peace Corps program has shown us that both sides benefit and grow from being exposed to one another's lifestyles and subcultures and perspectives and values and ideas.
The 20 Peace Corps volunteers will work alongside their Sri Lankan counterparts, including English teachers and principals, to deliver English language instruction to Sri Lankan school children.
Wesley College Colombo hosted its annual Shelton Veerasinghe oration as part of Wesley College's 150th anniversary celebration at the college main hall.
The annual Shelton Veerasinghe oration was delivered by distinguished old boy of the college and well-renowned tax specialist N.R. Gajendran.
Still there are problems to be solved. And tackling in these problems, the importance of leadership and leaders will remain as strong as ever. In this globalized world, the need for leadership and leaders cannot be denied, my friends. The reason being, in this world where changes are taking place fast, dramatically and continuously, diversity still remains. Despite globalization, despite unification, people will have their own identities and will remain diverse. Which means that any organization, any institution, indeed any society or any country, there will be always choices. There will also be alternatives and decisions will have to be made. And if a society or institution is to survive, thrive in the fast-changing world, we always need somebody, a group of people who will be able to anticipate the problems ahead and provide the solution.
With his 21-year tenure as principal of Wesley College from 1962 to 1983, Arthur Shelton Veerasinghe goes on record as being the second longest serving principal of the college after Reverend Henry Highfield.
The 145th Battle of the Blues, the annual cricket encounter between Royal College Colombo and St. Thomas College Mount Lavinia, kicked off today at the SSC grounds in Colombo.
The Battle of the Blues, which ranks second among the world's oldest school cricket encounters, kicked off today at the SSC grounds in Colombo. Royal College, led by Senior Jayawardena, won the toss and opted to field first. Mahit Pereira captains the St. Thomas College team. Sandev Soiza and Senadi Bulankulama opened the innings for St. Thomas's College. Bulankulama scored 13 runs. Opening batsman Sandev Soiza built a 66-run partnership with Dinet Gunawardena for the second wicket. Making a valuable contribution to the innings, Sandev Soiza scored 83 runs, including 11 fours. Dinet Gunawardena scored 50 runs, including 8 fours. Vice-captain Nathan Caldera scored 44 runs. Royal College skipper Sinet Jayawardena and Ramiru Pereira took 4 wickets each. After putting to bat first, St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia scored 297 runs in their first innings.
And that is a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching and good night.